and the taste on Devin's tongue was half earthy, half sweet, like the roots that had grown to fullness beneath the dark ground. "Try again, Dev. Try again, my lad." Devin hadn't thought his grandfather was old. He'd thought he was strong as the barn and the hills. He could labor all day until his shirt was wet through, but he'd never take it off and work naked to the waist, because that was yet another thing to be kept: your standards. You had to keep your standards, he said, in such a shifting world. Since he'd been a boy, there had been 1,000 new inventions. You could do almost everything now with just the push of a button, but nothing had solved the problem of the heat, or the greed, and the hunger that had followed. "Why not?" Devin had once asked. His grandfather had squinted up into the blazing sun and pursed his lips. "Nobody thought about the future, I guess. Too busy with other things." Devin couldn't delay any longer. He picked up the shovel and turned back down the hill toward the farmhouse. The basket of apples was still there where he'd dropped it, the fruit scattered all over the yard. His grandfather was still there, too, lying on the porch with his eyes wide open and his long arms flung out. For half a second, Devin thought he saw the fingers of one hand move as he scrambled up the stairs, falling to his knees as he grabbed for it. But the hand was as cold as ice. Tears of grief and panic rose in Devin's eyes, but he couldn't cry. There was nobody left to be strong except for him. He shoved his palms into his eyes, pressing back the tears. "I dug it the best I could," he told his grandfather. "It's good and deep. The coyotes won't find you. You'll be safe." Devin stayed by his grandfather's side for a long while. The shadows were growing long when he finally rose to his feet. He went into the bedroom and took the sheet off the bed and spread it wide and white on the porch. Then he half pushed, half rolled his grandfather onto it, his hands shaking and his breath coming fast. His horse, Glancer, named for her shy, sideways look, nickered softly from the orchard, and Devin hesitated. Then he covered his grandfather with the sheet and began to sew the sides together as quickly as he could. When he was finished, he fetched Glancer, hitched her to the low wagon, and brought her round to the front of the house. His grandfather's heels banged on the porch stairs as Devin dragged him down, and each thud was like a blow to his heart. It took a long time to get the body into the wagon, but at last it was done, and Devin slowly led Glancer up the hill, taking the shovel with him. It was nearly dark, and his grandfather was just a dim shape at the bottom of the grave, the sheet covering him as pale as the wing of a moth. After the struggle to move the body, Devin thought filling in the grave with earth would be easy, but it wasn't. It felt like the hardest thing he had ever had to do. He stood holding the first shovelful of dirt, unable to move. Burying his grandfather felt so final, and when it was done, he would be quite alone. Although it was late, it was still hot. Devin put down the shovel and wiped the sweat from his face, catching the scent of rosemary on his fingers. It made a long, sighing sound, and a flash of blue, very bright and clean, shot for a second behind his eyes. The herb grew wild here on the top of the hill. Devin's grandfather had pointed out the wiry plants, explaining that rosemary was the toughest of herbs, able to survive almost anywhere. "Smells good, doesn't it?" He'd held out a sprig for Devin to sniff. "A long time ago, people used to place it in graves for remembrance." Devin turned away now, searching in the gloom for the familiar plant.